Basketball may not have been born in New York, but it was certainly raised there, as were many of the NBA's greatest stars. And if any position on the floor says New York, it's point guard. It's a legacy that began with Bob Cousy.
The man with these fantastic moves could only be Bob Cousy, considered the greatest little man in basketball history.
He's from New York, went to Andrew Jackson High School before he went up to Holy Cross College. He's a guy who's resourceful. I think what New Yorkers are, they're tough and they're resourceful. And they figure things out. They get it. They managed to find a way for them to succeed.
When you see what he did through high school in New York, at Holy Cross, and then with the Boston Celtics, he was just a wizard with the basketball.
Growing up in Queens, Bob learned to be ambidextrous. But whichever way he went, Cousy had a style that was all New York.
Bob Cousy was the first great playmaker and all-around guy who incorporated stuff.
He has developed his dribbling skill to a fine art. With complete control at all times, Bob can go in any direction.
Over to Bob Cousy, and watch this shot.
Cousy revolutionized backcourt play. There were other guards in the league that were getting the job done for their teams, but none of them could touch Cousy for style.
He used the behind-the-back pass, and he was kind of the fancy player, and he was a magician with the ball.
They all called him the Magician.
He's the prototypical point guard. He basically invented the position.
First team 10 times in a 13-year career. A career in which he scored more than 18,000 points and made almost 7,000 assists.
I mean, he really had the mentality of a great playmaker. He could see things unfold before they happened.
Bob Cousy, number 14, goes on a rampage.
How does that translate to the modern game? It's different, but winners are winners. If it means scoring points, you're willing to do that.
Bob Cousy hitting.
If it means giving up the ball,
Cousy, the superstar.
whatever's going to help your team win the game is what a basketball player is about.
Watch Bob Cousy exhibit that tremendous skill which has made people call him Mr. Basketball.
Bob Cousy would be a winning point guard.
Your guard, in my estimation, becomes the extension of the coach on the court. He was the extension of our back on the court. Cousy was a lot like Red in the sense of, you're going to have to satisfy me to get the ball.
We had overwhelming talent, and with a master psychologist and motivator as coach. You know, we were all pretty much ghetto kids who came charging out of those ghettos. And Arnold was one himself coming out of Brooklyn, and it was, you know, we came self-motivated.
Two New Yorkers, Cousy and Red Auerbach, helped to build a dynasty.
The fast break actually is carefully planned and executed.
Behind Cousy, Boston's fast break helped reinvent the game, and the combination of Cousy and Bill Russell was unstoppable.
Instead of just competing for the playoff spots, they were now with their eyes only on championship play. That was the target for every single year. The only talk in the Celtic dressing room at the time was, who were we going to play for the championship?
The kid from Queens became a Boston icon, leading the Celtics to 6 NBA titles and leaving a made-in-New York mark on both the Celtics and the game.
You know, you say these NFL coaching trees starting with Paul Brown going to Bill Walsh. Well, he is the top of the point guard tree. And it starts here in New York, and he continues with guys like Tiny Archibald and Mark Jackson and Kenny Anderson. But it all starts with Cousy because of the way he played the game.